Hey everyone, it's Jen with DP Addiction Adventures. How's it going? I'm so glad that you guys are here. We are waiting for our special guest, but until then, I want to say hello to everybody. I'm so excited. I see Yvonne and Trisha and Crystal are here. Welcome. I see Marilyn's here. Oh, I'm so glad you got here, Marilyn. You did great. Hey, Melly. Hey, Diamond Artworks. Hey, Blame Jenny Jane. Hey, Camelia. Diane, so good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. Oh, my eyebrow is doing funky things. It's there. It's just the lighting's really bad. Hey, Odd But Nice. Hey, Jill. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Diamond Sparkle. Hey, is it Touche and Ka? All right, so Crashly, I'm going to bring you in. Are you ready? Hey, Suzanne and Mickey. Ah, here's beautiful Crashly. Woo-hoo! I'm going to bring up my email just in case our special guest Tamara is having trouble. I want to be able to, see if there's any emails. Kaya, welcome. Good to see you. So this is what I look like on a Saturday afternoon. I made sure I showered. Made sure I found my glasses so I can see you.
My hair looks so red.
It does look red.
It's not. I don't know how that's happening, but okay.
You can tell, like, my highlights are definitely, like, grown out now. They like.
I just want that eyebrow thing that you got.
It's crazy. It's there. See, it's just the lighting.
There. I got mine.
It just looks like they stop halfway. We're using StreamYard as mirrors. Hello.
That's what we do.
What we do, right? Hey, Nana. Hey, Shalene. So good to see you. Hey, Valerie. So did you get any sleep last night after your live, Crashly?
No, we're so close to finishing the originals anyway, so we were up all night binging that.
And oh no.
We were pumped, and then the conversation continued after the live, like on the various messenger groups I'm in. People have fun. I love it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's interesting on Friday nights.
Crashly, your hair. What, Melly, you didn't know I had all this?
Have you ever thought of trying to dye it again? You should do that for like the whimsical willow.
What color would you suggest?
Yeah. See, let's see if it matches Crashly. Here we go. Pink, maybe. Look at that sparkle! Woo! There you go. See, you look like one of hers. Look at that.
Yeah.
Crashly.
That's pretty perfect. I love her girl a lot, but I don't have the big eyes. Wait.
Well, Tamara is waving. She's here. I'm gonna let her in.
Hello! Wow! I just caught the bit where you were showing the beautiful painting. I was like, oh.
Is it? I mean, does this look familiar to you?
Oh my goodness! Wow! You know, I've never seen that close up. Oh wow! It's so sparkly.
Dan, why don't you change the view to make yours bigger so she could see it?
Oh, nice.
You're gonna make me do this, aren't you?
It's worth it. Oh, maybe you can't with two, but that zoomed out a bit. But look at that shine.
That's beautiful. Oh, you have a huge one.
I love her eyes.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice. I haven't been able to try and do one yet because I kind of think I've told you that this whole world of diamond painting is quite new to me. So it's literally just started for me, and I'm like, wow. So I haven't done one yet. You see.
Well, everybody exploded when we started this collab. It was like order. They're like, who is this person?
Thank you.
I was humbly surprised, and they're in love with it too, and sharing it all the time. And the artwork's so unique, and it's almost like there's a certain perspective aspect within each piece. It's very different and very unique. You do a good job.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored. Thanks.
And I like your style, the red lips and the blue nails. It's just nice.
I actually put this on very especially for this interview or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I brushed my hair for this. That's great.
I woke up.
I may or may not have brushed my teeth. I can't remember.
Yeah, I did.
It'll be all right. I have a yeah.
So Tamara, I was reading your website, and she has a fantastic website. Check it out in the description down below. And I spent 2 hours on it today. It was I loved it. It was beautiful. It was calming. It was easy to read. But I want to know, like, you have 2 sons, and right?
What did you say? I have 2?
2 sons?
That's right. 2 sons.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And you mentioned a handsome husband.
A handsome husband. Don't forget the handsome
I saw the handsome in there. You know, and I also saw a picture of one of your sons. I think it was one of your sons actually painting. So
yes,
you just carry on your artistic genes.
All right, I'm just going to do this because I hear a slight echo. So hopefully that will be easier.
She also has guinea pigs, by the way.
Yes, his guinea pigs.
We have a lot of animals. So one of my sons, who's 9, is a little bit more, more artistic than the other one. The other one just loves exploring with paint and it calms him down, the older one. But he's also interested in like creating characters, right? But the littler one is actually quite interested in creating, I don't know, he currently likes to draw Spider-Man and those kind of characters.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, really cool. So yeah, so sort of, but I try not to push, I don't want to be one of those mums that goes, I like art, so you guys must do art with me all the time, right? I want to be like, you have your own interest, but if you want to do art, come to me.
Yeah. If you want to, and then every night it's like, look, here's a storybook featuring my artwork.
But you're secretly hopeful that they do want to do the art, but you don't want to like push them, because freedom of will or whatever, but a little part of you.
Yeah, but yes, but they're intrigued. They do ask me a lot, why don't you draw any boys, Mummy? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. And I kind of have to go, I do boys here and there, but I've only just ever done mostly female figures of some sort. So it's probably what I'm used to, and probably because one way or another, it represents me, even though it doesn't look like me, right? But I think that's how it's the reason why it's mostly females, yeah.
I don't know, seeing you in person, I see a little bit of the red lips. I see a little bit of you in there, yeah.
Well, and that was one of the questions I had sent you. I wanted to ask there's this very empowered woman in many of your paintings. And I wanted to know, is it that inspired kind of putting you in the painting, or, you've developed this character. Now it's a different woman, it appears, but there's just this underlying theme of who she is inside.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll probably go deep on this, if that's all right.
Yes, please.
So for me, because I ran a course called Ever After, which really looked at style development and why you draw, what you draw, where you paint, what you paint. And for me, I really discovered that because my childhood was quite hard and rough, I was bullied a lot. I think that I keep recreating my childhood in some ways in the paintings as a girl that is sort of more happier. And I know that a lot of people do describe my art as sad looking, but for me, it's more of a compassionate look. Yeah. And I think you wanted to ask as well about the kind of animal characters, and they tend to be mascots or sort of supportive, compassionate friends and characters that are there to support me and to be with me as kind of friendship kind of companions. So yeah, so I think it's got a lot to do with what happened in my childhood and how I'm recreating kind of worlds that I would have loved to have lived in and still would love it to live in now. These kind of magical worlds. Yeah.
Well, and I see some sadness in some of your paintings based on the color palettes that you use and kind of navigating in that direction. But most of them, I feel this odd sense of calm or wanting to step into that, feeling connected with that person.
Yeah, I think you're getting that. Yeah, or that you get catching what I'm trying to convey, and also so again, because this is a different kind of industry, almost like you guys won't probably know obviously all the what I do. So that I run classes, and a lot of what I do is healing based. So we do a lot of utilize the creative process, and diamond painting I can see would also support people with stress relief, etc. But we utilize the creative process a lot to sort of overcome our inner critic, or any kind of limiting beliefs that we might have about ourselves if we're not feeling good enough, these sorts of things. So as I've done that for so many years, that would have seeped in as well, that I feel much more confident, much more happy within myself. So that's also there, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think it's a lot in there. I think if you look at what artists do and why they do it, there's probably a lot of psychological stuff going on there.
I have a question about why you do something. I was looking at your gallery, and I noticed in like the background of a lot of the paintings, there are these words, and they almost look like newspaper clippings or something, but you can make out the words and like almost like a whole sentence. So what are those about?
Yeah. So so I'm a mixed media artist, right? And I include a lot of collage. Actually, it's kind of interesting because I should kind of show you some physical painting. I also do art journaling. And so you have watercolor painters, and you've got, let's say, acrylics painters. But mixed media artists tend to bring in collage and paint and markers and pencils and everything else they can grab, anything they can put their hands on. So part of what you might see there are actual book pages that I like including as a texture, or as a just another layer that I can then paint over or on top of. And so there's a lot of layering in a lot of those paintings that you can see. But I also sometimes use very deliberate words. So sometimes it's more of a, hey, look how cool these words work as a texture.
And they do. They work.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yes. It's just cool because when you look at the image, you're like, oh, pretty girl, pretty color.
Yeah.
But then I love it. But then you really look like, and you think there might be a message here, and you want to interpret it, and and then the words make sense with the image. I love it.
Thank you. And
there's so much depth to it. The more that you look at it, the more you see, you know, and so you can appreciate it as an art piece, but then you start to appreciate the story that's coming out. And I love that. So thank you for sharing your heart with us and with the world, right?
It's really fun to have a new kind of audience. I think there's overlap, but I'm getting sort of new messages from people that are like, love diamond painting, and it's such a new world for me. So it's really lovely to be connecting with a completely different kind of group of people, if you will. Yeah, so thanks.
Well, we love you over here. We are Team Willowing.
Yay!
The story is, I'm fairly new to Instagram, so I'm exploring it. And we are doing a collab. It's an 8-week-long event that people have purchased from your collection.
Yeah.
And then they do the diamond painting with us weekly and post progress, and we're all enjoying it. Many people have done different things.
Yeah.
Well, I did not research the hashtag before we picked it.
Oh.
So evidently the hashtag, we picked Whimsical Willow because, and it's somebody who loves their dog. So there's lots of dog photos. There's a spa. So there's lots of feet.
A lot of feet.
There's somebody who loves these dolls. They're kind of like Barbie mixed with brat dolls. I don't know if you know what those are.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of those. And then there's our diamond. So it's very eclectic.
That is so funny.
We'd already advertised, so we just went with it.
Yes. Yeah, you do have to be really careful with the hashtags, don't you? I have to also try to be super specific about the thing. Otherwise, you're going to get mixed in with all sorts of other people who've chosen the hashtag. I know. Yeah.
Yes. So it's been adventurous, to say the least.
It has been. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, our audience has asked a question of, what do you recommend to your artistic kids? I'm in the same situation with my husband and daughter. Yeah. Anna, my 14-year-old, is scary good.
So what do I recommend? Well, that they try and focus on the process and joy of creating rather than on the outcome. And I'll tell you why. It's because on the courses that I run, there's a lot of people that get completely paralyzed when they see the let's say the lesson outcome. They see a painting and they think, oh my God, I'm going to have to make that. I don't know how to do that. And it won't look as good as that. And they paralyze themselves. But if you focus on just the joy of the painting and how it flows, and then the collage and how it is, and try. I know it's hard because we all want to make amazing art, but if you try to just focus more on, hey, what does this material do with that? And look at that, then you will relax a lot more. And you will actually overall, or in a long run, make a painting that you'll like a lot more than if you, in this sort of rigid, contracted way, make art. Now, if the 14-year-old is already pretty good, she might already have that in her, because it sounds like, you know, from what I read in the question, that she's pretty good already. But if there was any kind of inner critic going on there, that's one of the tips I do get. And another one I like giving is to develop something called, I call it creative courage, where you have to be okay with making art that you're not going to like quite yet. Because often with artists, they have this thing that you can only make art if you're talented and born great, and you've not sort of given the time or the leniency, I want to say, to give yourself space and time to actually learn the craft. Like with maths or with English or French, any other work, it's like, yeah, it might take you 6 years to say, you know, a good sentence in French, and everyone is sort of expecting that. But with art, they just kind of go, you should stop because you have no talent. I'm like, hold on, no. What? Why can't we also spend time on that one, learning it and trying it? And that's one thing. But the other thing is we have a harsh inner critic, and we often go, well, I tried that phase, didn't work, I'm going to give up. And if you can develop sort of that more resiliency around, in the beginning, you might not make an eye that works straight away because you need to try and do it several times, like with any other craft. And so if you can cultivate that kind of courage to make something that you think, that doesn't look like an eye, but if you go, but so I need to try again rather than I'm going to walk away, I think that's half the work done if you want to really be an artist. Makes sense? So these are the 2 tips I might pass on here.
It sounds like it's better to wing it than to overanalyze when you're creating artwork.
For sure.
I'm interested in this multimedia thing. Like in my head, I'm imagining this giant canvas, and like you're going about your day. Ooh, this newspaper clipping looks cool. Let me just grab this, and then you're just pasting and layering, and then it works. And like that to me, I've never done anything like that, but that sounds like it'd be a cool outlet, you know?
It's great, and there's so many beautiful collage papers, by the way, that they sell with like beautiful kind of patterning. The world of collage papers is and you can do.
It's a rabbit hole, right?
I've always wondered what the aisle at Hobby Lobby was for, all those papers. Like, why does anybody need these papers? What are they going to do with them? I get it. I get it now.
Yes, you can make some really beautiful things, combining collage with paint, with all sorts. I mean, I do love. I'm a big fan of, as you know, sort of mixed media, where you can just bring anything and anything goes. I mean, people use beeswax and all sorts, where they bring it all together and they can make. Yeah, I know, amazing work.
Beeswax.
Yes, and it smells nice. Although you have to be careful.
We have some beeswax. Yeah, in diamond painting, we have some beeswax.
Oh, of course. It's the small thing, isn't it? Yeah. Of course. Yeah, they melt it as a sort. They can do. Not everyone does. Melt it over, and then put it on the painting, and it protects it.
Really?
Yes.
So when you say you do these classes, what do the classes consist of? Is it painting, or do you do multimedia classes too?
So I run several classes. One class I run is called Logbook, and it's a year-long mixed media art course. So you need to really want to do this work because it's like a lot. But, you know, it's all at self-paced. You don't have to come or show up at a certain time. But basically, and on that particular course, there are another 30 mixed media artists. So we all show you how we make our specific brand of art. And in my case, you know, the girls that you see, so the one that is the Autumn Fairy, I think I call her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has the physical painting has several layers of collage, several layers of sort of scribbles. The other thing we sometimes do, so to get our feelings out, we just do a lot of writing under the layers. So it's like, oh, I'm annoyed or frustrated or worried. And you can just get it all out on the page, right?
Where has this been my whole life? This sounds amazing.
Oh, I hope you come and do it. It's good fun, truly. It's like so much, it's expressive, and you can utilize the whole process to just get it all out. And then you layer over it or you let it go. You know, there's all these kind of good ways that you can utilize that to work through your stuff. And then you make something beautiful on top of it as well, which is kind of fun. And so, yeah, it comes with, so I use acrylics and then also crayons, like the Caran d'Ache crayons, and we'll use Posca pens and markers and all the kind of to make the detail. So most of my classes are mixed media based, or I might use inks like I love, and then a new supply comes out and we all get obsessed. We're like, let's try this, everyone.
We don't do that around here.
No, I didn't think we did.
We don't know anything about new product.
We don't have hundreds of videos about stashes and new products. And
what's a stash? I don't know what that is.
Well, guys, Tamara is blessing us with a free class.
Look, we just made the same face. That was amazing.
So, Tamara, can you tell us a little bit about this class? I put the link in our description down below and the discount code. But if you could tell us a little bit about the class itself.
Yeah, so this is called The Light of the Art Angel. And it's actually the first lesson of Lifebook 2 years ago, I think. So Lifebook 20, where are we now? 2020. They're going into 21, so it was 19, I think.
We all had to think about it, is it?
Well, what's the year?
It's been a long year.
I think we're all trying to forget about 2020. Yeah. So Light of the Art Angel, and that is pretty. It's actually, that doesn't include that much collaging, but it includes watercolor, and you use some markers and you use a bit of acrylics, and you're making this sort of art angel that helps you. I think she's intended as a guardian, and she'll shine a light on what you want to bring into the new year, what you want to let go of. So it's kind of like what I just described, a kind of an intention-setting painting, and then it's kind of a full figure. But if you're scared of drawing, that's another thing I was going to say to the other lady who asked the question. This includes a trace over, and people are like, "Oh, trace over is cheating." I don't think so. I think particularly when you're still learning and in the beginning and you're feeling scared, if you have a trace over first, then you can break through the whole fear of drawing, and then slowly but surely learn to draw that way. So that includes a traceable file is what I meant, and particularly because it includes some hands, and hands are just artists' nemesis.
Mine always look like.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Hands are hard for even the most experienced artists, truly. So therefore there's traceables in there. For those who choose to, you don't have to. You can also draw freehand, and then you basically sit with me while we paint and draw and paint that entire painting. So you can get a taste of what I do.
Woohoo! Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tamara. We were not expecting that. That was like 2 hours ago. She emailed me. I was like, what?
Now there's when you go to order the class though, there's this checkbox at the bottom to receive emails from her, but you have to check it. You could continue without it, but just remember to check it, because then she emails you love notes and stuff apparently, and I'm just excited for that. I really like love notes. Just ask Jen. Jen.
I need my love notes.
Every time she sends me something random, there's always this little note on beautiful paper, and it just says, "Your eyes are beautiful. They shine in the night." She doesn't do that, but she does write me love notes.
I call them smilegrams. Sometimes I just sit down and write like 5 or 6 things that God brings to my mind, people, and then I just mail them out. And I don't know, it helps encourage me to encourage others.
I feel
I keep them hanging up.
Yeah, that is so lovely. I think that's wonderful, truly, because we're all so harsh on ourselves in life, and we can be really lovely to other people, but forget to also remind ourselves that actually we're okay and we're doing well and we're getting through stuff. And so I do that a lot on my Instagram, that kind of thing as well, where I try to remind people, that it's okay to ask for help or to say no, or these kind of things are important to remind ourselves sometimes. Oh.
I was actually going to bring that up, and this is a loaded question, so I actually have it on paper here. So in your About section on your website, there's a quote that says that you believe that the act of creating art can be a gateway into healing the personal growth. Does that stem from anything that happened to you, or did that help you in some way, like discover the love of art? Because I don't know, in your About, it's like you focus on this message of like happiness and it's self-help and love you, and I just love that. I just wanted to know where that came from.
Yeah, well, again, back to my childhood that was rough, right? So I developed low self-esteem, had all sorts of issues, and I've always been interested in art and painting. My grandmother was a painter, and I noticed that every time I painted, first of all, it calmed me down, right? It was sort of a calming, well, it didn't always calm me down if I didn't get what I wanted to happen, but I worked through that as well. But most of the time it had a calming effect on me. But the other thing that happens in a case of mine, so I've experienced quite a bit of trauma, and people that have experienced trauma can become quite left-brained or logical, you know, like the kind that goes, I will fix everything. It's all logic. You become very systematic and structured. And the other side of the brain, supposedly, is that felt sense where your feelings lie. But as a trauma survivor, you tend to stay away from feelings a little bit because you're like, no, this is very scary. So what I find is when I go into a creative process, that part of my brain gets kind of activated, and I tend to have access to feelings better than if I even through talking, I don't have that access so well if I see a therapist, let's say, but through the creative process, and when you see me write sort of words that make no sense or poetry, that is that sort of language of the right brain, if you will, that feeling world of, where you know what you're feeling. And so for me, it's literally a gateway. If I'm like, don't feel well, but I don't know how to access it, if I sit with my paints and sort of muse and become a bit sort of, go into that meditative state, I'm able to sort of process my stuff better. In my case, does that make sense? Yeah,
it does. And I don't know if you know this, but
I was hoping you were gonna say, okay,
I'm a trauma therapist, and so I actually work with refugees who have been through extreme trauma, and I've also been through my own trauma narrative. And I do a lot of art therapy. I'm not an artist, but we do coloring and drawing and clay molding and sand trays. And at first, because that's not how their culture thinks, they come in and they think I'm nuts. But by the end of the session, they're like, oh my gosh, like what happened?
Right.
Because feelings are so scary. And if we're in our left brain trying to feel in our right brain, there's a barrier. Or if we're on our right brain and we don't have the protection of our left brain, we're all over the place. And so you're so right. And that's why I really connected to you and just gobbled up everything.
I had no idea. That's such an interesting coincidence. Yeah, wow.
Well, and I wrote a book on diamond painting, and one of the chapters in it is all about why diamond painting and creativity have a healing journey. But, and what you just articulated was amazing with your brain. It just it does.
Yeah.
And who would have thought putting color on paper does this?
It's very interesting, and it's a beautiful way of reaching yourself. I mean, I have another friend who says, I meet myself on the page. She does a lot of art journaling, right? So she meets us, it's a conversation with herself. And so a lot of this work is not just about making a beautiful painting. It's also just about the process and how it affects you and how it can help lower the cortisol levels and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
She said cortisol. She knows what that is. Actually, not me.
I don't know what that is. I thought that was something you wanted to stay away from to lose weight and stuff. I don't know. But that's cholesterol.
It's a stress chemical in your brain. So the higher your stress, the higher the cortisol. But if you stay in that high level, that's where that trauma, anxiety, and all those over-the-top feelings reside. And so
you have a lot of over-the-top feelings.
Many of us do.
So diamond painting helps, and I talk about it. Diamond painting helps lower that cortisol. And I actually am more anxious if I try to draw from nothing. So diamond painting has really helped me be that logical, but in that creative space. It kind of merges the two together. And I love that. I'm like, something I love.
Yes, I see that. I can see the combination of that. Having a really beautiful impact. And then the sparkle. I don't know what it is, but I love twinkly lights. I don't know if you guys do. The twinkly Christmas lights. And the same with the sparkle. There's something so soothing for me about glittery. And I think I read somewhere that is about our reptilian brain looking for water. Did you? So in the olden days, when we saw sparkly stuff, that was really important for us to see because it meant there was water somewhere. I have no idea if this is true, by the way, but I kind of just wondered why I can zone out just looking at twinkly lights or anything sparkly for hours and hours and hours. I really can.
It's like the bug zapper. Like
yeah.
if you really feel this way, Tamara, we
Yeah.
need to get you a diamond painting.
Yeah, I think I'm being.
Look at that. Look at
It's lovely. Yeah, the sparkles are lovely.
Or add,
It's so
give
sparkly.
yourself a diamond painting and don't do it, but add diamonds to your original work. As
Oh,
part of your collage.
yeah, I do sometimes add glitter or what is it? Metallic paints. So we have metallic paints as well. They're also reflective and sparkly, but the sparkle is definitely very lovely.
I love how you always have hearts and stars everywhere.
Yeah, they are. They are my sort of signature, whatever doodle that I like to include the stars and hearts. Yeah.
Somebody asked earlier.
Oh.
What was up with most? Sorry, it's really loud. Most of your paintings have like a symbol on the girl's forehead or on her necklace.
Yeah.
Is there something about that?
Well, the doodles. So the doodles have become, I don't know what similar actually to what we're describing. So doodling, just doing little simple doodles that are not complicated, also help with that meditative state. So in some of my paintings, there are so many, it's because I endlessly sit there and it calms me down, right? So some of them don't have a specific meaning, but there are specific doodles. So the little houses, you'll see little houses a lot. Hearts and stars. Houses for me represent belonging and community, which I wish I had more of and that the world had more of, because I find the world a bit fractured, right? People are quite separate and we're all in their little houses, and community is, I don't know, depending on where you live in the world, is not necessarily that emphasized. And I would love more of that. And back to my childhood, that again, the bullying and that sort of stuff. So certain symbols have a meaning, and some I just like to make a face slightly more, have something that people go, what does that mean? Because then I think I don't do this deliberately, but it opens up again that right brain where you start to create stories around that person or your own story. What does it mean? I don't know, but what I think, so it does more to you than just there's a nice face. That's also fine. I'm not judging it's anyone who paints a nice face, but I enjoy it when a face or a painting has something else going on where you don't quite understand what's going on. Do you know the singer Tori Amos by any chance? Okay,
no, I don't even think I could say that.
All right, Tori Amos is a singer who, when you read her lyrics, it's very cryptic, and I'm not as cryptic as she is, but I used to enjoy that a lot because I would go, but what do you mean by that? What does she mean by that? And then I would go into myself. I would be like, what do I mean by that? So I like it when a painting makes you think a little bit beyond. Seeing what is there, and I think that's what happens with the faces and when there's a symbol on there. I also just like adorning faces, because faces to me are the focus of a person. So I'm like, I like to adorn them. I like to make them interesting so that the focus is drawn to the face. Something along those lines, I think.
So you're teasing us.
In a little bit.
I'm going to put a star here just to tease you. There's no meaning, but you're going to put meaning on it.
It's not that I sit here and I'm thinking, right, when Jennifer next is going to see my painting, she will be annoyed, because what does that star mean above the eye? She will be so frustrated. No. Not quite as logical as that. More
Next
than
time you draw it, you're going to think of me. I know you are.
Yes, I will. Oh, I actually put the name Jennifer on.
Watch her do it too. I have no doubt. Oh, I love this woman already so much. One of us.
Yeah, no, it's just there's not a deliberateness about, oh, I want everyone who watches. It's more for I sit there just doing my own painting because I like this, and then people have a reaction to it. But this, for me, I enjoy it when whenever I see any painting a painting has more to it than just the subject on its own. Does that make sense? And I think that's wherever I put a weird thing. Sometimes someone has a boat on their head.
A weird thing.
Or, or there's a bird that sits in the face instead of next on the shoulder, or the sizing doesn't work. So it's I would call it magical realism or something. So meaning it's magically realistic. It's not realistic. It's surrealism. It's
so they're not tattoos.
Yes. What?
They're not tattoos then. I mean, I could get a tattoo.
To be tattoos, they can be. Oh.
Well, someone in the chat said that they were taking your classes and it helped them with something. I'm trying to find that comment again. Or learning art through your classes helped me heal from my mind death.
Oh,
so that's cool. We need to all take our classes.
That is amazing. Wow. thank you, Marilyn, for sharing that. That's incredible. Wow.
And another thing that makes Tamara so cool is you struggle from something yourself too, from pain, rheumatoid arthritis, right? Can you tell us those struggles?
Yes, and you can see it in my hands. So that's the other, not the irony of it, but when people come to my classes, the thing you see the most are my hands. As much as I like to put my face, in it, of course, if you're going to learn from me, you see my hands, and they are the most affected by this illness. So rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease that affects the joints, and I've had it since I was about 19. Luckily, I'm on medication that now really has stabilized it. I mean, I'm still affected, so I can still get flare-ups. Sorry. But I can live an okay life, right? There's people who are crippled by it and end up in wheelchairs, and it's really sad. But yeah, I'm able to live with it. It's definitely been a challenge, but I don't let it define me. Try not to let it define me, and also, again, I'm lucky that I've got medication now that means that I can mostly do most of the things most people can do, and still can do art. That's the most important thing.
Yes, she can.
Yes. Yeah.
So Valerie is asking,
speaking
of tattoos, what is the tattoo you have on your chest?
It's a mandala. Mandala. Do you know what mandalas are?
Yeah, we do. We diamond paint them all the time.
I was just going to say. Good. And they're meant to represent sort of the interconnectedness of the universe, I think, if I researched that correctly. And a tattoo guy designed it. I wanted something that was obvious on here. And it's really interesting. I don't know much about tattoos, actually. But in England, I don't know how it is in the UK, in the US, but here it was very difficult to say, could you do my design? It is very much like, no, I love this tattoo artist, and you go with their designs. Oh. So it was quite new to me. I didn't realize that because I was like, I want this and I want this. He's like, yeah, no, I only do my designs. So I was like, oh, okay, I have to change my whole, and I got that in the end. They see them, they're artists. So anyway, some person designed this for me, and I did it. Maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
So if they didn't make you choose from their art, would you have brought one of your artworks in there and say, put this girl on my arm?
With a mandala in her forehead?
Yeah, or a bird on her cheek.
Yeah, bird or a heart hanging off the eye.
There you go.
I don't think I would do a face tattoo. That's it's taken it far even for me even. It's a bit like, whoa. This one, I have it quite prominent. Oh, this is to reverse the mirror. I have it quite prominently, but I could hide it if I wanted to. No, I don't know if I would do like a proper not a cartoon, but like a painting of mine, like a full-on sleeve or anything. I wanted something like a symbol. Yeah, so I could maybe do a star or a heart for sure, but I wanted something slightly bigger, or maybe roses.
I have those. Oh wait, that's my wrong wrist.
I could do the same. Oh, nice.
That's what I have.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, stars. Nice.
I drew that myself.
Oh, did you? And they did it for you? They weren't like, no, I have to
I'm sorry, I really didn't. I was just kidding.
Oh, no, I mean, did an artist do it for you?
Oh, yeah. Like here, I mean, most tattoo places I've ever been to, you can take in whatever you want. Or okay. you can develop a concept with them. Like, I wanted something for me and my son. Right here, I have our hands doing this and then his initials. And I said, I want something for my son. And they just draw it right there. They're sketch artists here, but yeah, they don't make you choose from a catalog and that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So maybe I should have gone there.
Well, next time you come if you ever come to the US, let's go get some tattoos and you can get whatever you want.
We'll have some tea and tattoos.
Yeah.
Tea and tattoos. Tea and tattoos. Sounds like a wonderful evening.
It does. Well, although I have to admit that I was a day chicken and I put numbing cream on before.
That's your chest. Ow!
And he had to stop halfway and I had to re-put the numbing cream on again. But when I put it on Facebook, everyone's like, oh my God. I was like, this is painful, people.
Ugh, that seems like it would really hurt. Like this hurt, but I can't imagine the chest. Whew.
It was painful.
Jim, do you have tattoos?
No, because I can't figure out a spot that won't sag or change as I grow older. I don't want
the logic is there, but wow. I don't know. Your forehead shouldn't sag.
really like my forehead and I have a little like chicken pox scar. That's me. See, there's my little symbol right there for you. So I want to know, where did you come up with Willowing?
Oh, that's a interesting story. So my middle name, there's a couple of reasons. So my middle name that no one is allowed to repeat is Wilhelmina.
Whoa!
I'm actually Dutch originally, so I don't. Holland is nearby England, so I grew up in Holland, and my grandfather's name was William, but Willem in Dutch, and so my mother named me Wilhelmina, which is the female version of William, effectively. Mm-hmm. And so Will is the beginning bit of my middle name. Then I also used to love the Willow character in the Buffy show.
Oh yes, I love Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy. And I love the willow tree. And so then Willowing, I was on LiveJournal. I don't know how young you lovely people are. I go way back into the early days of the internet when I was blogging on LiveJournal. Do you know about LiveJournal at all? Oh, you do. I don't know. It's an early blogger platform for old people like me.
I'm older than Crashly, so I was born before internet.
Oh, really?
I was born a couple years ago.
I didn't say you weren't mature. I'm just older than you.
It's okay if you say I'm not mature. I pay taxes at least. That's what I have going for me.
Life, taxes, and death. Those are the three things.
I have a few children too.
Okay. Yes? Are you still there? For a second, I thought you guys were like frozen. You're like, okay. So, and then on this LiveJournal account, I had to change my handle, my name, and I was playing with Willow because of my name and the character in Buffy, and I had a friend who called herself Willower, and I thought, why not become Willowing? And the word wing is in there then as well, and it's like, so I had really thought this through, and it stuck. So somehow it stuck with me ever since, and then I became Willowing Arts. So it was at first just a blogger name, a blogger handle. Yeah.
That gives me a really good idea. I think I'm going to take all of your classes and then learn how to paint, or do the multimedia art, and then I could be Willowette. You get it?
Willowette. Oh.
Did I forget? Willowette. Yeah. Yeah, and she could be Willow she or something. I'll think of that one. Willowette.
Yeah. Willow. You can make all sorts of derivatives. Yes, very cool. We got a whole flock of Willowies.
Yeah, mark my words. It's going to happen.
Can you draw us like a willow flock? Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
People who support you and are around you and care about you. It's like your willow flock.
It's really sweet, actually. It makes me really feel like, oh my God.
Well, we actually have a band of superheroes in this community called the DMC Heroes. Yeah. Long story, but you can be the Willow superhero in that. She could be.
With a W on my chest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I could be Big W-ette.
Oh, yeah. Or Willow, yes.
So Ruby Q has a question about the use of animals in your paintings. I know you touched on that a little bit earlier, but we love Ruby. Would you mind explaining real quickly again?
Of course.
Why you have animals in your paintings?
Yes. So because of my childhood, this kind of I was bullied quite a bit and didn't feel like I had a lot of community. So the animals, I find generally animals they have such an innocence about them. They're just, particularly dogs, but they're sort of there for you. So I've always been looking for these sort of unconditional loving characters that are just there for you. And so these animals tend to represent unconditional loving companions that are just sort of witnessing who you are, what's going on for you. And so they end up showing up in the work a lot. It tends to be foxes, elephants, bears, birds, and sometimes rabbits nowadays. And I like swallows, but they're just sort of flying in the sky. Yeah, so they sort of just are these characters that won't leave me. They'll just be there, and they're usually really sweet and innocent and just loving. Yeah, So I have them there as unconditional supporting characters.
Why aren't hamsters in there? Because
Or frogs.
Of them.
Frogs. I have snails.
Hamsters and frogs.
Yes, I had a couple of snails. Frogs, I don't, let me think, because there's a thing for me, you know how I draw them, you may have noticed, but I tend to make them super simplistic, those characters, so they have just a round head and a body, and the moment you do have, you know what I mean, like, that's it, like, so they're super simple to make, but the way you know it's an elephant or whatever is just by the face, and the rest is straightforward. But doing, so such animals such as frogs or hamsters, they can't really follow that pattern, that design.
They're just a circle.
It's kind of hard. I've said this because I remember teaching this and going, "Oh, she's doing it now. She's taking on the challenge. You can do it."
She's gonna draw something.
The hamster might work, but hamsters I've done a couple of guinea pigs actually, but not hamsters so much. And frogs I haven't done. So certain animals I also think I connect with more. Sure.
What did you draw?
Is this a frog? Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Oh, because of the big legs. Sorry.
That's frog leg.
Oh, you did it that way. Oh no, I thought you were trying to do it like the way with the body that way. That's why I was like,
I thought it was 3 triangles.
I heard simple. I don't know how to draw.
It's good. Hold on.
Which, if we're new in chat, Tamara is offering an amazing free offer of a class. Check out the description down below for the link and the discount code.
Yeah, and moderators, if you could continue to share that in the chat, that would be so appreciated, because I already registered for it and it's really, really cool.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so I think I just have certain animals that I gravitate towards. So elephants I love because they just, I don't know, have a graciousness about them. Bears are cute and cuddly, and they're easy to draw. Like, they sort of kind of, you can position them in sort of easier ways. I do dogs here and there, cats not so much. And then I think foxes. And foxes I tend to do in more of their quote-unquote realistic, more realistic shapes sometimes. Yeah.
Well, that's what led me to Autumn Fairy, is the fox.
Yeah.
Actually pulled me in. And also the name too. My sister's middle name is Autumn. And I love that name the minute my parents named her. I was 4 and I love that name. So I always wanted to name my daughter Autumn. My husband loved the name too, but we could never find a middle name that we enjoyed with it. Everything just didn't seem to come up to the level of Autumn. And so it's my daughter's middle name now. But anything with Autumn, I'm like, ah!
Nice. Yeah, it's a lovely name.
Well, Diamond Painting Factory UK is carrying your product. And why we have my next question for you, I want to let chat know that we have been gifted, Crashly one and myself one, a $10 gift card to Diamond Painting Factory to give away during this interview time. So please stay tuned. And what we're going to do, how to give it away, is we're going to have you pick a number and you're going to put it in chat.
I didn't do anything.
I'm going to put start in chat and you're going to pick a number between 1 and 200. Okay. And the first 2 people that are closest without going over, those 2 people are going to get the $10 gift card. Tia, no. And we don't use the number 69 or 169.
I had nothing to do with that. Don't listen to them, Tamara.
I'm going to put start, and then I'm going to ask Tamara my question. All right.
Wait, who's picking the number?
Hang on. Is this something I have to special? Is this a thing I have to specially answer? Oh, I have to pick the number. Oh, sorry.
What's the number, Tamara?
I see. Shall I wait?
Don't look at chat. Just pick a number and write it down.
I don't actually see the chat. Oh, I haven't gone here. Am I in the private chat?
Well, don't go looking for the chat now. You have to write down the number first.
Write a number between 1 and 200.
I suddenly realized there were comments and I hadn't seen them.
We've never done that before. It's okay.
I haven't seen any number. It defaulted to the private chat. That's why. And I've never used this before. Oh, I'll go through the comments in just a second. Okay. I give an answer?
Well, go ahead and
Ears frozen. I have to pick a number.
No, you're unfrozen now. Continue, Jen. Say whatever you just said again.
write down a number between 1 and 200 on paper and don't tell us.
Okay. All right.
And we hit
between 1 and 200, yes?
Yep.
Okay, I've done it.
All right. Now, if you want, you can go over to chat, so we're not cheating.
Okay, well, no, okay, that's cool.
Well, my question for you while we're waiting for people to put their numbers in is, how did you go from collab mixed media artist into sharing your artwork with the diamond painting community?
Oh, this was purely the company approached me. So they said, I just got an email out of nowhere saying, hey, would you like to, can we use your images for this diamond painting? And I was like, I've never even heard of what that is. So that's how it went. So I looked into it. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And so then I went into like an agreement with them. That's how it happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to send them a nice email telling them to send you one, because
we
need to see what you think of this.
Yes, they are meant to, but sadly, Jennifer's also called Jennifer, the lady who runs it. She recently had a stroke, which is really horrible.
She did.
Yeah, and so so she meant to send me one, and then I'm like, obviously I'm not going to go, hey, send me.
Well, I have a few. I'll send you one.
Yeah. But no, it's fine. So I'd love to see one. Yeah, but that's just been delayed. So she meant to send me one, and it will happen. I'd love to see.
Yes,
that's cool though.
Yeah.
So you're only signed with one company then, right?
Yes, but the rights are not exclusive with her, and another company also approached me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the process currently of.
Is that a secret?
I don't know. They haven't said.
Okay, well then let's not, because we don't want anyone getting in any trouble. No.
And you'll probably find out quickly enough if it goes ahead, and it's Yeah. So,
well, and if that company falls through and it's not this company, check out Craftably, because they are an amazing company. They're a husband and wife team. They have an amazing product, and they love their artist and really respect them. So, if that's not the company that you're working with on the side, they also allow you not to be exclusive, so that if you want to dabble in some companies, you can.
Right.
It's just an idea.
Yeah, I've made a note.
We're gonna get you rich.
I like small business. I like to help them if they have a high quality, but yet, they're doing it. I like to help.
Especially when you can vouch for them too. Like, they're good. Yeah.
It's a confusing, again, as an artist, if you license your artwork, I must say that I find it personally quite confusing how to know the credentials of the company. So some are quite good. They go, here, look, here's our Google reviews. This is our, because I'm also concerned, for instance, with the diamond, this company, I really wanted to know that they were working with companies. I knew that companies working with companies in China that weren't like using like children, in the, like, I have no idea, what level, what happens in the factory.
Fair.
This sort of thing. So I literally asked her, could you let me know that you're working with companies that you can vouch for, this sort of stuff, because because I don't produce a lot of products, I have 2 books out, and that's with a company that I trust, and they do produce them in China as well. I just feel worried. I think, oh my God, am I connected to any kind of company further out, because they all use another business, don't they, to produce something. No idea about the legality and if everything is okay. And I just care about the workers there. I just want the workers to be okay. That it's all done in a humane and kind way. That's the most important thing for me. So,
I find it so humbling that you think of that you have thought about that.
Sure. Oh, thank you. Well, but you hear so many horror stories about factories in China, and I'm like, I have no idea how to know, and I just it would kill me if I found out that a product that I'm involved with actually treats their staff really badly. I'm like, okay, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So I still have to take their word for it. So I don't, actually, Jennifer was lovely. She sent me a video of the factory where the people worked. So they go through, good lengths to show that it's okay. But that's really important to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I worked with the anti-human trafficking side of things for 10 years.
Wow.
And we delve into that a lot. So I feel more enriched knowing you, knowing that that's how you think as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Me too.
So important.
Well, Tamara, would you like to show us the number that you wrote down and we can find our 2 winners?
Okay, 2 winners. I have only one. Oh, I only put one number now.
That's okay. It's the two people that are closest. So you only needed to write 1 down.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Ooh, 77. So for Ashley, I'm going to be looking if you want to keep talking.
Oh, okay. So you have 2 guinea pigs, huh?
Yes,
any other animals?
Yes. we had at some point 6 guinea pigs over the years, but some died, some, and sadly one who was the bravest was attacked by a dog, not our dog. But now we have 2 left, and they're very delightful. They're called Frankie and Wilson. Wilson is a new member, and my husband, who's just an adorable person.
The handsome husband.
Yes, the handsome husband. He loves them, and he's the one that, because they are outside. We have a garden where they can live outside, so they love eating the grass. And he goes and feeds them every day with cucumber and whatever else. So it's very sweet.
Adorable. Oh my gosh. Do you binge watch any shows like on Netflix or Hulu? I don't know, where you are, if they have the same things. I don't know anything.
Yes, I do. I love lots of Netflix shows. I can rewatch episodes. Do you know episodes? I don't know if it's what's with Matt LeBlanc. Do you know? It's an old show now, but I keep rewatching stuff. I also like The Office. These sort of things. I like rewatching things. Yes,
I love The Office.
They're all older now, but I come back to them. Current ones. What has been on recently? I loved the OA, but they cancelled that. And I did like was it the Gambit? What's it called? The Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit.
That I really enjoyed, actually. I was surprised that, because I thought chess. I'm not interested in chess, and then I really liked it. What else have I watched?
Do you have Disney Plus there?
No. Don't know.
So you don't know what Hamilton is?
I know that I haven't watched it. I keep
wanting to. So excited. I was like, are we going to sing Hamilton right now? Are you ready to sing?
No, but I will sing with you at some point if you want, because I love
I read that too. She sings, y'all.
I love singing. Yes. Yeah. I know. I keep hearing about Hamilton and hearing that it's won all these awards. So I kept going, where can I find this? And it's is it Broadway, right? It's a musical, but also a film now, isn't it? Or is it?
Well, yeah, it was a show on Broadway, but Disney bought. I don't know if you want to say the rights or whatever, but it is a movie now, but it's filmed on the Broadway stage, so it's not like a productioned movie. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
yeah, I see.
Okay, yeah, they recorded them doing the Broadway,
and so it's on film in that sense. Oh, okay.
It's unlike any musical you've ever seen. It's kind of like hip hop ish kind of style music, but I know every word to every song now.
I will watch
Tamara, what she's not telling you is that she made fun of all of us.
We didn't need to go there.
For liking Hamilton.
I know she likes it.
Throw down, make
okay.
Us. You guys are idiots. Then she goes and watches it, and within 24 hours has the whole thing memorized, and she wants to die seeing Hamilton. So that's the funny part.
Well, Jennifer was like, oh my gosh, you have to see this musical. It's about this historic figure in history, and he did something with the banking system, and they sing, and I'm like,
that doesn't. Yeah, I can see how it doesn't sound necessarily that.
Yeah. But then I watched it, and I was like, I'll never question you again.
I don't explain. I like things for unique reasons. I don't explain them very well. All I know is I have a gut feeling it's good.
Yeah, well, I keep thinking. I actually had it. I emailed myself a while ago. I don't know if you do that when you have to do your reminders.
Text message, email, Facebook message.
Basically, I even literally in the header it said Hamilton. So it's definitely on my must-watch thing list.
Well, you have my email. I will look forward every day. Maybe she watched it. I can't wait. And then we'll have to schedule something else. So Hamilton sing along with Willowing and Willow at
How would it be if I emailed you with me singing a song of that straight away? You'd
I
be
would
like,
fall to the floor and be like, oh my gosh, she's my hero.
Her husband will text me and say, what did she do? She's dead.
But I'm such a big fan of Hamilton that a subscriber that we have, Robert, his name is Robert Pizza. I don't know if he's in the chat, but he does these cosplays and like goes to these conventions. I don't know what he does. He's a nerdy guy. He goes to all the nerd things. I don't know, but he knows Lin-Manuel Miranda's publicist, who is the main character in Hamilton.
oh, wow.
And we try to get him to do a stream like this with us. You know, long shot, but you don't get anything if you don't ask. You know, you never know. He's like, no, I can't do that. Okay. But then he sent me a hand signed picture. Instead, I'm like, it's mounted in my living room right now.
Woohoo!
That's how big a fan you are. Wow. Nice.
So I just want to calm chat down because I guess people really wanted this gift card.
Oh, geez.
All right.
The number was 77. 3 people won. We will make sure all 3 people get it. Please email me at dpaddiction@gmail.com. Jerry, Jill, and Tia won. And Tia is being a rebel. She's supposed to be working.
Get back to work, Tia. Tia.
So anyway, that is the number 77. So 3 people got it spot on. So we'll make sure they get their credit. So
Yay. Congratulations.
yay.
This has been amazing. I really appreciate you coming on here with us. We're huge fans, and after meeting you and seeing how like humble and just I don't know, awesome you are, it's really cool. It's fun.
It's really fun. I was really excited. I like this sort of connecting and hanging out. It's nice. It's lovely. Thank you for having me.
Well, if you ever, want to come back or stay up late with us, let us know. I know you're a busy woman, but
well, and she has a YouTube channel too, don't you?
I do.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. So check that out. It's kind of like usually time-lapsed creations of art, and yeah, you can please come by and have a look.
And that one, it's called Willowing, right?
Yes.
Willowing on YouTube.
One more question before you leave. I love your bookworm.
Oh, thank you. Yes, she's cute, right? I like her a lot too.
Is she going to be a diamond painting?
Is she not? Is she?
She's not.
Ah,
I totally buy her.
weird, because that's a very popular image. Yeah, generally speaking, and I have a class on her as well.
Look at her. She's writing it down like I need to take care of this right now.
I might take that class because I'm like, I love her.
Yeah, she's sweet. She's one of my favorites personally as well. I like how she said, and also I don't know, I like it because the whole connection people can have with books, isn't it? That whole thing of having that lovely time with the book. I think maybe because Jennifer from the company said to me, there's some images she doesn't have a low-res version for, and that might be one of them. So I need to provide her with that, and then it can probably come up. So I will put that up, and
y'all heard it here first.
Bookworm girl. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tamara, for taking time out of your busy schedule, and I hope you had fun because I had an amazing time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed chatting to you guys. You guys are fun and wonderful. I enjoyed it.
We don't know how to be any other way, do we, Jen?
We were naturally born that way. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, bye everyone in chat. Thank you for all that you do. And